Right now we're in the home of the Muscular Dystrophy Translational Research Program, and what you can see around me is our lab space where a lot of the direct sequencing occurs, as well as the cell culture that we need to do to really help patients with muscular dystrophy. Our program is dedicated to advancing therapeutics for patients with those incurable genetic diseases such as the muscular dystrophies. And the way I think about those conditions is that there's a whole group of individuals that have problems with their DNA that affect their muscles, that affects their ability to breathe, affects their heart muscles, affects their ability to walk and generally live their life. Our clinical program is a multidisciplinary clinic that is supported by the Muscular Dystrophy Association. That allows us to bring all of the necessary team members into that clinic together, from myself and Dr. Harper, to speech therapists, physical therapists, genetic counseling, and essentially any other person. It's really a one-stop shop for patients with these conditions.
Our current team has about 6 to 7 providers. We have an endocrinologist, we have a physiatrist or rehab doctor, we have an orthopedist, we have a cardiologist, a pulmonologist, a neurologist, and sometimes also rely on other providers such as a gastroenterologist. So it's not just one person providing the care, it's really a whole circle of people kind of surrounding that child and giving them the best care possible. And this is truly why our neuromuscular clinic is a clinic of excellence and is representing more of the region at this point.
We leverage that clinical environment to do research, to understand quantitatively what is it that makes the disease worse? How quickly does it progress? Are there things that we can be doing, like exercise or not exercising, that can really help patients understand their condition?
As a postdoctoral fellow here in the group, I am responsible for directing and managing a lot of the molecular research work that we conduct as a team.
I'm our group's computational biologist, and so what that means is I deal with essentially everything data related to the many different projects that we're working on.
We are in an incredibly privileged position in that Dr. Harper and Dr. Johnson, as they treat their patients, do so across the street from us. And what that means is that our clinical research coordinators and our team bring back samples from these patients, whether that's blood, muscle biopsies, urine, all incredibly valuable biological samples that are going to help us as a team. And they come back and they walk across the street here. They're processed right here next door.
We can go ahead and process that and actually get genomic data that then I can analyze and look for anything related to their diseases and try and gain a better insight into their disease.
And any information that we're capturing from those patients at the bench, we're talking about it to Dr. Johnson on the other side.
Our secret sauce actually in the program is the collaborative environment. Even though we're not looking at it right now, we're looking at the bench. Really up and down the hall, we have team members that work in the clinic and in the lab and in clinical research. And they all sit together, we all talk together, and one of the best things that happens out of that environment is that we're able to really translate those discoveries as efficiently as possible. We're just seeing an incredible, tremendous growth of new therapies, lots of promise for many of these conditions in the next 5 years. And frankly, one of the things that's hardest for us is trying to keep up with the pace. And that's why I think we're always interested in additional community support and partnerships that help us drive progress forward.
We've seen the strides in our whole community make active efforts towards their treatment. And that is something that keeps me coming back. Because me sitting down at my bench every day to just pipette a couple of things can make all the difference moving forward.
I'm very passionate about my care for these children. Everyone knows that I often refer to them as my kids, even though that they might not be. But to be able to offer these therapies and these supports for the first time, and to also give each child that opportunity for research, this is exactly where I want to be.
Without the ability to really, literally take it from bench to bedside and back to bench, we think that progress would be substantially slower. And that's the reason why we built the program in such a specific way, why it really does cover a wide array of different research and different opportunities, and has such a diverse membership of staff that help us drive that progress. Because my hope and my goal, and one that I share with many patients and families that I speak with, is that in the next 5 years, we're going to have some sort of genetic or disease-modifying therapy for many of these patients. Where there wasn't anything before, we're going to be at least able to enroll them in a clinical trial to test these therapies, and ideally, even better, prescribe it right in clinic and put myself out of a job.